the plan for this morning, we've got a really interesting morning ahead of us. We're going to hear from Tom Salmon shortly, who is West Cumbria way, who is a great presenter on the radio, and his particular interest is music, and he runs the BBC Introducing programme here in Cumbria. And Tom's going to talk to us about how he does that and what the music scene that he explores fervently every week is like in Cumbria, and perhaps some tips and tricks about how that can develop further in the county. So we've got some great slides and some lovely clips of music actually with Tom as well. And then we're going to hear from Lana Grindley, who is based in Kendal, who is a community artist who's been working with the Environment Agency in Kendal on the flood defences there. Kendal's obviously been hit a number of times by flooding, and it's really interesting and great, I think, that they are incorporating art into the way that they work with the community to react to that and plan for the future. So really looking forward to hearing from Lana, who's got some beautiful slides as well. That is the plan for this morning. And just to say congratulations again to Nick for a great science festival in Windermere this week. I know Chris Dennett was involved in that as well. People that just joined were just talking about it. Looks like it's been a real success. Lots and lots of people there. And you know, these things, when they're inaugural and you get them off the ground for the first time, which I think I'm right in saying this one was the first one, it's a huge effort. So well done and congratulations to all those involved with that as well. Right, Kate, hello.
Good morning.
You are our chair. Do you want to say anything wise?
I'd like to say that if you want to attend the disability awareness training, the disability equality training, get it right, you need to start to book because the places are over half gone already. So there are 16 places on each of 4 dates, the 25th, 26th, 27th and 28th of April. Amy, I'm sure, will put the booking link in the chat any moment. Look how slick is Amy. There it is. If you want to book, go ahead. It's free. It's for you. It's for your colleagues and co-workers and people you know who work across the culture sector in Cumbria. I can recommend it highly. So yeah, do book as soon as you can. Otherwise, I'd just like to say welcome to those people who've joined us for the first time. I think it's probably best if you introduce yourself in chat. It's really good to have new people with us every time. So that's it from me. I have to leave early in 20 minutes to go and do my bit for the Arts Council. So apologies if I slip away quietly.
That's quite all right. Derek, great to see you. And sorry, Phil, to hear about the symposium, the poetry symposium being postponed because of COVID in Carlisle. That was going to be taking place tomorrow. I hope that you can get a new date soon. So good luck with that. Right, okay, well, we're going to hear from Tom Salmon now. Tom, very nice to have you with us. I know Tom dipped into a call when we had your man from Kendal calling, whose name escapes me. Was it Andy Smith? Mm-hmm. Is that right? Yeah. Because Tom has got his fingers into all the pies of music going on in Cumbria and beyond. And one of those things is Kendal Calling, because there's a stage that Tom helps to organise and look after at Kendal Calling, which is a huge thing in itself. So Tom, I'm going to get your slides up. You're very welcome to be with us. Thank you for coming along. Over to you.
Thank you very much. It's really nice to be here on a Friday morning. This group and network's brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to sharing a little bit about BBC Introducing and BBC Introducing in Cumbria and what we do. So here we go. Won't be a second. Brilliant. Okay, yeah, so BBC Introducing, that started in 2007, and it's a platform to support up and coming artists. So there's 30 BBC Introducing shows all over the UK promoting music in their area. That is a very general overview of what BBC Introducing does. I'm from Whitehaven in West Cumbria, and I've been a lover of music for many years. I'll tell you a little bit about how I got into music in just a second. But first, next slide, please, Tom. I imagine that everyone on this call can think back to a time when they've watched someone perform live or heard a song on the radio and thought, I have to tell the world about this person. So if you've just heard me say that now and someone's popping into your head, can you please just whack it in the chat and just let us know who you really love, like watching performing, or you really love listening to. And yeah, we'll just get a nice sense of, you know, what different types of music and artists everyone on this call are really into at the moment. Feel free to do it as this presentation goes on, but basically that's what we do here at BBC Introducing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Scottish Gaelic folk singer. Very nice, Julie, thank you. So yeah, we find acts and we play them on the radio to, yeah, JP Worsfold, yeah, we played him on the show as well. That's good. Laura Marlin, yeah, spot on. Brilliant acts. And Wet Leg, do like those as well. I've not seen them live either. Delagrave, played them on Introducing. 20s inspired jazz band based in Newcastle, cool. Hamish Hawke, Six Music, cool. Right, so that's just a few in a couple of minutes, and I get sent music on a weekly basis and I listen to it and I think, you know, would the audience enjoy this? And if I think that and it's of radio quality, we put it on the radio and we start spreading the music that's been made by artists in the county. So that's what we do on the radio side of things. There is stuff outside of the radio that we do that we'll tell you about in just a little bit. But next slide, please, Tom. So everyone's love for music starts somewhere. This is a photo of my dad's Ibanez guitar, which I grew up watching him play. And eventually I was so impressed by what he was doing with the guitar, finger picking and playing like the likes of House of the Rising Sun and all that kind of stuff, that I said, Dad, would you like teach me how to play guitar? Show me a few chords. So he did. And then I carried on from there and just started to really fall in love with music and performance. And I started learning drums, and then I started singing. I was in a band. And then I went to uni to study performance and media. And that's how I got into student radio. And the two loves for radio and music came together. And I started presenting BBC Introducing the back end of 2016. So everyone's love for music starts somewhere. That's just a little bit about me and my personal side of how I got into music. So next slide, please, Tom. So the way BBC Introducing works is it's postcode based. So if an act uploads the music to the uploader, bbc.co.uk/introducing, I'll put a link into there in just a little bit. They tell us a little bit about themselves, upload a track of theirs that they're really proud of and want to be considered for the show, and then they'll put in the postcode, and that'll depend, the postcode depends, the postcode is a way of filtering each act and each track into a local inbox. So if it's a Cumbria postcode, it ends up in the Cumbria inbox. Hello, that's me. And then I listen to it and it potentially goes on the radio. From a local level, it could then go on to national radio. So this image here is just a list of a couple of programs on some of the national radio programs that support BBC Introducing. So locally here in Cumbria, we've had acts played on Radio 1, Radio 2, Six Music and the like. So there's lots of possibilities. It could all start by typing in your postcode on the BBC Introducing website, sending us a song, played on local radio, forwarded to national radio, which is what the BBC Introducing presenters and producers do. They hear a track, if we like it, we forward it to that team at national radio. If they like it, then it gets played on national radio. And it's a really, it's a joyous thing when that happens, when you supported something from a local level and then you hear it on a national radio program. Just, yeah, I get full of joy basically, and I'm really chuffed for the act when that happens. And it's happened quite a lot this year. It happened quite a lot last year, which I'm very proud of. Next slide, please, Tom. And it's not just radio, so there's lots of opportunities through BBC Introducing. These are pictures from the Introducing stage at Glastonbury. Introducing also have stages at Reading and Leeds Festival, Great Escape, Radio 1's Big Weekend. And each show from around the UK gets to forward acts from their area for consideration for these stages. And then there's a selection process. So here you'll see on the left, we have Lewis Capaldi, multi-Brit Award winner, supported by BBC Introducing in Scotland, and Celeste as well on the right, who was awarded the BBC Music Introducing Artist of the Year back in 2019. She won the Brit Rising Star Award in 2020, and she also performed the John Lewis Christmas advert song, or one of them, which is awesome. Next slide, please, Tom. So that was about BBC Introducing on a national scale. We also have Introducing stages locally as well, BBC Introducing in Cumbria stages, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. But this is where you can find us online. It's just search BBC Introducing in Cumbria, and if you were to find us online, this is what you'd see. So our show is on BBC Radio Cumbria. Should have maybe mentioned that at the very beginning, but there you go. BBC Radio Cumbria, Thursdays 6 p.m. and Saturdays 8 p.m. Every act we play appears on a track list, Pride and Place, on our online website, and it gives the listener a chance to figure out and find the song later on online. And also, I think every act, when they appear on that track list, just gets like a real buzz. So chuffed to have that set up there. I'm going to link you now in the chat to a recent show that we did. So feel free to have a listen to that in your spare time. If you do go on there and listen to the most recent programme, they won't look like this. It'll be very bare minimum, because I had all the track info on and all the show info. I've been off with COVID for the past week, so that's why, but next week it'll all look nice with nice track lists again. Next slide, please, Tom. So it's not just radio again. So we do lots of projects in and around Cumbria. This is a project we've been doing with Cumbria Music Hub for the past 4 years now. We go into schools across the county and we deliver talks, and I tell them a little bit about BBC Introducing. We select an act local to the area, local to the school. If we're lucky, which we have been in the past, an ex-student of the school, and they come in, tell us about how they got into music. They perform for the students as well, and we take part in Q&As. I also talk about how I got into media and how I got into BBC Introducing as well, and take part in the Q&A. The last one we did was 2 weeks ago at Kendal College with ex-student Hayden J. Barlow. It went down an absolute treat, and we're still looking to do more of these as we carry on into 2022. I think we've spoke to well over 1,000 students now in total, and it's just brilliant to kind of allow students to see the potential of what can happen if they upload to BBC Introducing, if they work on the music, and if they, work hard in the arts and work hard at the craft. Next slide, please, Tom. So the BBC has been running something called the 50/50 project for many years now, monitoring gender equality and representation across the BBC. I'm going to put another link in here for you now in case you want to find out more about that. So I can speak from what we do at BBC Introducing in Cumbria. So our programme keeps a record of male, female, non-binary artists that feature on our programmes. So that's music played, or if they appear on our programme as a guest or contributor. And then that data is just worked into a spreadsheet and we upload it to the 50/50 database. It keeps us accountable and it allows us to measure who we're playing on the programme and the percentages. So at the moment, it's a higher percentage of men uploading and being played on the radio compared to women. We're always looking to bring this into balance. We did an International Women's Day special about 2-3 weeks ago, and the standard is absolutely amazing of the music that women are making here in Cumbria. So, you know, if you know of any women who are making music, then please just let them know about BBC Introducing, because we always want to shout about, you know, the music that's been made here in the county. So as well, if you know of any men or non-binary artists who are making music who haven't heard of the Uploader, please just tell them about it. It is about sharing the music and promoting these artists from the county. Next slide, please, Tom. So I said before, we get out and about and we put stages on at festivals. So this is Kendal Calling 2019, the Yam Riot stage, which showcases some of the local acts at the festival. Now, this wasn't our stage at this moment in time. This was the Kendal Calling Yam Riot stage, and I was just there taking photos and recording some of the local acts for the radio programme. But the year following that, we set up a little partnership to take over that stage and bring 24 Cumbrian acts to the Yam Riot stage as BBC Introducing. Unfortunately, that wasn't able to happen due to COVID. So for the past 2 years, we've been supporting our lineup that was supposed to play in 2020 by other means via the radio. Next slide, please, Tom. So in 2020, because everyone was locked down and couldn't really do much, I asked our lineup to perform an at-home recording of one of their songs, which we put on the BBC Introducing in Cumbria webpage, which you can see here. And then we took that audio and played it on a very special Kendal Calling programme as well, which went out on BBC Radio Cumbria. And then in 2021, we upped that a little bit, still with the same lineup, give or take. And we asked every act if they'd like to take part in BBC Radio Cumbria's Yam Riot stage. It was an on-air version, and basically we gave one act their day, like a full day of celebration. So we played one of their songs in each of our programmes across Radio Cumbria. We got them on air to take part in an interview. We promoted their work on social media. So it was a real buzz across the 5 weeks that we ran this feature on Radio Cumbria. And it was just another way of supporting these acts while they waited to perform on the Kendal Calling stage. And this year, they will get to do that. So I'm very, very excited to see that happen in the fields at Kendal Calling at the end of July. Right, I just want to take a moment to tell you about some of the big success stories and opportunities that have come our way via BBC Introducing. So next slide, please, Tom. So this is Laws. It's Evie Plum from Kendal, Luke Paget and Jamie Walker from Lancaster. They uploaded to BBC Introducing in Cumbria back in 2016 with a track called Awake at Night. They've also had great support from BBC Introducing in Lancaster as well. Both our programmes have been playing their music. From then, they've been played on Radio 1. They've been featured on dance tracks with the likes of High Contrast, Sigma and Camel Fat. They played the Radio 1 dance stage at Reading and Leeds Festival last year, and they won Radio 1's Dance Vocalist of the Year award. And here's a little clip of what Evie had to say about winning that award.
Absolutely gobsmacked, to be perfectly honest. We're quite into dance music now after being so involved in the scene for the past year, and obviously I knew the awards were coming up because it's the first one and Radio 1's been making quite a big deal of it, but it never even, I really consider ourselves to be quite small fry. It never really dawned on me that we'd be included in the nominations, and then to see our name alongside all those incredible other vocalists was just absolute shock, to be honest. We were really not expecting it at all, but it's obviously a huge honour and really, really rewarding to be recognised in that way. So
Laws, you might recognise the name, named and inspired by the word Lawswater. So a bit of a Cumbrian connection there as well. And they've just had their headline shows in London and Manchester this month as well. So they're doing really great and looking forward to seeing what they're going to get up to in the rest of 2020. Next slide, please, Tom. This is Bored at My Grandma's House, the work of Amber Strawbridge from Whitehaven. And she's now studying in Leeds, been supported brilliantly by Introducing in West Yorkshire as well. Her music played on the likes of Radio 1 and 6 Music as well. And we selected Board at My Grandma's House to represent Cumbria at Radio 1's virtual big weekend last year. And I've got a link here if you want to listen to the full track. It's well worth listening to, so there you go. I know people have commented while I've been talking here, so if you're losing the links that I'm posting, I've got them all in a block, which I'm going to post right at the end of this talk, that you can use as and when you want to check them out. Next slide, please, Tom. So our third and final success story for this talk is JD and Swerve, or RJD and Swerve. Producer and rapper from, sorry, JD, rapper, Swerve, producer. Some of you might have been on the chat with them the other week as part of this network. So they uploaded to BBC Producing a couple of years ago, and our afternoon programme, presented by Vicky Warham, was after somebody to take part in a feature they wanted to host on the station called Good Day News. Basically, people would text in with something good that had happened that day, and then that would get fed to JD and Swerve, and then, or whoever we selected, which was JD and Swerve, and they'd have to go and write a rap in like 2 hours and then present it back on radio like really, really quickly. It was a really quick turnaround. So I want to give you an example of that now.
Yo, Milthorpe, can you hear me? Trevor's brother went the shops for him, and obviously that meant a lot to him. Hold your closest dearly. What's the next name to my plan? That's Paul from Grange Over Sands. He is the happiest man, waking up to his wife with a ring on her hand. Windermere, get it jumping, because Katie's just looked in, found 50p underneath the cooker when dusting. I'd have erupted. Naomi from Ovenham's mum cooked over the stove for them. And lasagna, no, she's known for them. It's ready, I'm waiting at home for them.
So there you go. I put forward JD and Swerve for this feature because I knew of them, I knew the quality of the work, and the reason I knew about them is because they'd put their music through BBC Introducing Uploader. So that wasn't a direct opportunity that came via BBC Introducing, but it was an opportunity that came from an idea out within BBC Radio Cumbria. So there's lots of opportunities that can come along. And then basically on the right-hand side of the screen there, that's their winner's image for the Local Hero Award. They've been doing some great work in the community, and we put them forward for the AIMS Local Hero Award. So AIM is Association of Independent Music. The awards are quite prestigious, and last year, AIM linked up with BBC Introducing, and each local BBC Introducing show from across the UK got to put forward an act or organisation from their area who've done really good work. So yeah, JD and Swerve were our winners there. Next slide, please, Tom. I just want to quickly tell you about this as well. I know I've not heard much music, so this is going to give you a chance to hear this little clip now. It's from the Live Lounge Introducing Talent Search, which started last year. It was a link between Radio 1 and BBC Introducing. Anybody who wasn't an unsigned artist could upload their music to the competition, and there was many stages, and at the very end, one act got the chance to perform in the Radio 1 Live Lounge and record a session. The winner was Bonnie Kempley from Introducing in Scotland. And before we play this clip, just want to say that we're running it again for 2022. The entries have closed, so we're currently in the process of the beginning of the competition. But yeah, watch this space. There'll be more to come on that in the future. But yeah, just enjoy 2 minutes of this lovely track. This is called Blushing by Bonnie Kempley.
BBC Radio 1.
It's not that you're bad, it's not that I'm good. It's just we don't balance each other out like we should. Don't wanna talk about it. It's the end. You shut the book. Now I'm tearing out the pages of you. It's hard for me to look back. I was thinking about how I used to blush when I talked about you. How we used to kiss in the bedroom. The feelings that I had are gone within my head.
Yeah, so that's just a little bit. Yeah, that's just a little taster of like some of the top quality opportunities and the top quality music that's making its way through BBC Introducing. I'm just going to put the link to the uploader and more information into the chat now. So that's how you can upload your music. If you know any musicians or artists that I think would benefit from taking part and uploading to BBC Introducing, please tell them about it. They need to be 16 or over to upload their own music. If they're under 16, they need a parent or guardian to upload for them using the parent and guardian's contact details. And yeah, don't forget, Introducing in Cumbria, Thursday at 6 o'clock, Saturday at 8 o'clock, and you can get us on BBC Sound as well. Next slide, please, Tom. This is a little FAQ and help for acts who aren't quite sure how they go about getting the music selected for the show. So there's some tips here which you can find on the Introducing website as well, which I've just linked you to. Next slide, please, Tom. Thank you very much. Any questions? I'll quickly just, yeah, I'll let you run with the questions, and then at the very end, I'll put all the links in as a block, and you can go from there.
Thank you very much, Tom. That was a real insight into the great work that you're doing, and also, you know, just getting the word out there about Cumbrian music. I think I'm just flicking through the chat because I can't have the chat on when I'm sharing my screen. I think someone was asking, is there an age limit? I think you meant, did you say 16?
Yeah, 6. So there's no age limit at all. We play people of all ages on the programme, and 16 is the lowest age that you can upload music on your own using your own contact details. If you're below 16, a parent or guardian has to do it for you.
And how old can you be? As old as you want to be?
Yeah.
So there's no upper limit?
No.
Okay, great. I'm just flicking through. Jill, can we all support the BBC licence fee? Yes, this is a good example of the BBC licence fee doing things that you probably didn't know it did. This Introducing program's been going for a number of years now, maybe 10, 15 years altogether. It started off quite small, but look at how it's impacting on Cumbria and on young people in Cumbria as well. Jackie's just saying, how can we get in touch with you, Tom? Did you put your contacts into chat, Tom?
Yeah, can do.
Okay. And I have to say, you know, as someone that dips in and out of Radio Cumbria from time to time, when I bump into it on a Thursday evening, it's always a great listen. It's amazing what this county produces as far as music is concerned. And Tom is the conduit and a real encourager of all that sort of stuff as well. So thank you. Has anybody else got any quick questions for Tom? Just shout out if you've got any questions. There we go. Just put his contacts into chat, tom.salmon@bbc.co.uk.
Tom, is it any genre of music?
Yeah, anything. We play across the board: heavy metal, folk, electronic. That's one of the brilliant things about the programme. It's not genre specific. It just has to be of quality for the radio, and yeah, away we go.
Amanda says, you're discussing emerging artists as young people as introducing artists. Older people can also be emerging artists, having had a career change. How are you supporting them, or are you supporting them?
Yeah, we are. Like I said, there's no age limit, and if the track is of quality, we will put them forward for opportunities. For instance, put an artist forward. We've had people who are older who have been played on Six Music, and there's all those different avenues that artists can go down as well. So it doesn't matter about the age. If the track's good enough, we'll put them forward for opportunities that we think fit well with that style of music that they're making.
Excellent, Tom. Thank you so much. His contacts are in there if you wanted to follow up with Tom. And I just encourage you to look at the website. And as Tom has said a number of times, if you know people that you think are possible potential people for being played on Introducing and being considered, do let them know about this. But one of the things we're trying to do with the network is support the younger people involved in culture and arts in Cumbria. So this is just another example of that. So do please encourage people to contact Tom. Tom, thank you ever so much. That was fantastic. Great presentation. Great to hear some music, and great to be bigging up Cumbrian culture in all its guises. So thank you ever so much. Lovely.
Well, thank you.
Right, let's cross to Kendal now, and we're going to hear from Lana Grindley. I can see Lana's just professionally just come off mute there. Lana, great to have you with us. You are a community artist, as I said at the top of the programme, based in Kendal, and you've been working with the Environment Agency for some period of time, amongst many other things as well. So I'm going to get your presentation up, Lana, and we've got about 20 minutes or so to share your thoughts. So off you go.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for having me on today. It's a really good network, and I will be back now that I've dipped my toe in. It's really useful to hear about all the different things going across Cumbria. So yeah, my name's Lana Grindley, and I'm from Love Art Workshops based in Kendal. And as Tom says, I've been working with the Environment Agency now since 2019 to develop an art strategy. Do you think the slide's coming now? Yeah, cool. So yeah, the art strategy then has all been about the main theme when researching. It was mainly about opportunities for people to re-engage with the river, and the art strategy that was written in 2019 has been used as an engagement tool with the community, like different schools, charities, and third sector, as well as the general public. And so if you just go to the next slide, Tom, please. So from this early consultation process, a lot of the themes that came through talking to people and getting feedback was the history of Kendal and the history of the river. And that touched on some of the industrial heritage and the way that the river has shaped the town, really, and how it was kind of utilised for industry. When we were doing interviews as well, people were talking about how they remembered the pollution from all the different industries, like the dye works and the breweries and stuff, and the tanners and the wool works, and even people saying, even 50 years ago when it flooded, they were more scared of getting infections from the river. So yeah, this kind of brought me on to not just the history as a theme, but the future of Kendal's river. Because with climate change becoming more evident now, last summer in the lakes and rivers, we had a lot of algae blooms, and the temperature of the waters increasing. So, and obviously the flooding in Kendal has been quite bad in the past. So it was kind of, what can we do as a positive? What can we do to have emphasis on positive change? And that was kind of trying to find opportunities to reappreciate the river. If you just go to the next slide, please. This is an area called Beeson Field. So this is the first nature area I'm just going to kind of touch on and talk about today. I don't know if you're from Kendal, but the best way of describing it is next to the skate park. It's right on the riverfront opposite the police station, and at the moment it's just a field. So the idea of this area is to promote play, adventure, discovery. And I just wanted to read you a quote, and this is by John Cleal from a Welsh artist, and he said we must teach our children to smell the earth, taste the rain, and to touch the wind, to see things grow and to hear the sunrise and the night fall, to care. So I found this quote quite recently, but the idea around that, if you just go to the next slide, please, Tom, is to create a sensory path. So this was in the initial art strategy. So this, hopefully this sensory path and an art trail within this area is to kind of provide opportunity to reconnect with nature and its amazing qualities. Especially after lockdown, a lot of younger people and teenagers, a lot of them have kind of got stuck in a little bit. So it's about coming out, being in nature, stop, listening, feeling, touching, being in nature, and that hopefully creates educational opportunities. This area is hopefully going to be like a bit of a training ground for visitors and schools and locals to use, to come and kind of refine your senses, and then to use them skills out in the outer world of nature to hopefully try and create a real appreciation, and then hopefully eco warriors in their own right. If you could go to the next slide, please, Tom. So yeah, the pathway going through the sensory path is going to have lots of different things for young people to engage in, different sounds and senses and different sculptures. So there'll be like one main path going through where you'd be kind of just walking along, but then lots of paths that kind of weave in and out of it, with hopes for a real destination in central Kendal, because at the moment there's areas, but not in the sense of real connection with nature. So yeah, if you would like to go to the next slide, please. So I have been, as a community artist, working with Sandgate and Castle Park schools with a ceramic artist called Rosie Meredith, who's also from Kendal. And these, we're going to create a giant mosaic wall, and the tiles have been made by imprinting nature, and the nature has been found from the site and along the river, and hopefully it's going to promote people to have them conversations about this is the flowers and fauna that promote kind of wildflower meadows for the bugs and the bees. So it's kind of hoping, and they've also designed some bug houses which are going to come to light, which we're quite excited about, to get young people's architect. But hopefully this is just the start of something that we can create a real nature corridor through Kendal, and landscape more areas to create sustainable thriving communities, really. If you don't mind going to the next slide, please. So the next area I just wanted to talk to you about was Mincemeat Nature Reserve. There isn't a final plan yet that I can show you, but this is some work. So we worked with Wayne Scurra. We've done a soundscape that I'm going to show you guys in a little bit, and that was recording. There were some images, and we've also worked with Kendal College art students, so I took them on a site visit. So you can see from the area just there on the left-hand side picture, it's kind of a wildflower meadow at the moment. And the idea is to create a nature reserve in this area, hopefully in collaboration with Cumbria Wildlife Trust. But it's a real kind of walkway through from Kendal. It's not far from the town centre. So again, it's about bringing nature into these more urban areas, as urban as Kendal can be. Do you mind going to the next slide, please? So yeah, this locals will know it, but there's just there by the river, sandy bottoms. I'm pointing like you can see it, but that field, them fields there are going to be the nature reserve, and the ones that are just kind of going along the River Kent there. And then if I could just draw your attention to the red line, I'm not sure if Tom, you could put your, yeah, the red line there, that's where some art's going to be installed, which I'm just going to talk to you about now, if that's okay. If you just go to the next slide, please. So this is the initial plans for the area, for the nature reserve. So it will be a floodplain, and we're still in the design stage of this. But it's going to be a place for people to enjoy the river. There's going to be willow sculptures, willow arches, informal pathways, but we are going to commission 3 timber sculptures in this area to do with wood. So if I could advertise that through this network again, when them briefs become available, that would be really good. If you could go to the next slide, please, Tom. How am I doing for time, by the way, if that's okay to ask?
You're doing fine.
Okay, it's just to know how much to play of the soundscape. So one of the projects I've been working on was a sound to stone project. So just to talk you through it, I've done a lot of work with people with dementia and older adults, and when they talk about their stories about Kendal, I could just sit and listen for hours, and I just thought this would be an amazing start to a project. So with a local musician, Wayne, we went round and we've interviewed, I think it was like 15 older people from Kendal. I think one was as old as 100, which was quite an honour to be able to speak to someone of that age. And we also went into care homes as well. And we've recorded their memories, and we have produced, so the main themes that they talked about was their childhood memories of the river, the flooding of the river, and also the wildlife. Do you think 2 minutes? I'm not. I'm a bit dyslexic with time.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll just come out of it, Lana, when I think we're done. So I'll just play it, shall I?
Yeah. Well, it's 6 minutes long. Would you like to play just 2 minutes? Is that
Yes.
okay? Thank you. Hopefully it works.
See, the river moves, so your body moves with it. Just give you that feeling that you're all right. You know, it's telling you you're all right. That's what I think. I think it's telling me I'm all right. Yeah.
We used to spend a lot of time swimming and everything else down here. Really magnificent falls when it's running in flood, and salmon beside them jumping over that. It's just magnificent to watch.
Swimming in the river, we used to go to picnics. We used to go right across to the other side, but we had a lot of rhubarb growing there, so we used to get rhubarb and bring it home. It was, and then you could walk right round to the, they called it, what did they call it, where we used to swim around there? Down at Scroggs Lane, and we used to go right round there and swim around there and then come back again.
In the summer of '63, it was a very dry and very warm summer, and the Kent was so empty we could literally walk across it.
I watch the river, yes. I sit where I can see out. There was a salmon lake for salmon, and kiddies used to go and play there around that area because there's a goose home as well.
From both sides of the Kent, from Strummingate Bridge right underneath Thorny Hills, there was a separate mill race. And I remember Goose Home still having that sort of island about it. Although the mill race when I was a kid had been drained, it was still in situ. And people thought of Goose Home as an island. It was absolutely great, of course, for geese. Hence the name originally, because it was rich, lush pasture land rather than parkland then.
In summer.
I'll just stop it there, Lana. That was lovely.
Yeah, so that is nearly radio ready. that's how Wayne described it. But once it is, can send a link out for people to finish to listen to it, if that's okay. So if you could go to the next slide, please. So the Sound to Stone exhibition, so the soundscape was produced, and we took the audio to Kendal College Art students and Space to Create, who are a mental health arts charity, and they listened, and they've created some prints from some of the memories. So you can see some of the prints, and that was done with Annie Luke Turner, a local artist. And then we actually did an exhibition. If you can just see from the images there, sorry, I've just got a box, I'll just shut that. So yeah, we invited the residents down to the exhibition, and it was really quite emotional, actually, because a lot of these elderly people hadn't been out of the care homes due to COVID, and they invited the families along, and to have the students who were inspired by the audio meet the people and look at the art together and listen to the soundscape. It was a lovely project. If you could just go to the next slide, please. And so then now we have these print designs, if you will, and 6 are going to be chosen. And Danny Clahan is a local stone artist from Cumbria. He's going to produce some slate plaques that are going to be inlaid into the flood wall along the river path. And the soundscape's going to be on offer there to listen to, and that will hopefully lead you down. I've tried to time it exactly so that it'll come to the entrance of the nature reserve. If you just could go to the next slide. Yeah, and just to say that this is just the start of what we're delivering now. There are more projects to do with willow sculptures, timber based, and we're doing a lot of outside educational work with schools. And I'm going to try and tie this all into a nature trail for Kendal that's interactive, that children can have art and be interacted within it. And if you just go to the next slide, I think that might be, yeah. So I wasn't good at posting links, but the floodhub there.co.uk, that's got information more about the scheme, just if anyone was interested. And once the audio is public, I'll send a link as well. But if anyone has any questions, I know some people were talking there. If you don't mind helping me with going through
yeah,
them.
no, I'll go through them. That was a lovely presentation on it. I love that first, was it a woman's voice on that first bit of audio talking about how if the river's flowing, it's okay.
Yeah,
if the river's flowing,
yeah.
we're going to be okay.
Yeah, she actually lives in supported living, and she's overlooking the river, and she says it like, yeah, it's really quite emotional, just people's connections.
Sure. We've got just a few minutes, Lana, so I'm just going to go through the chat. So Derek's saying this theme would translate well to Cockermouth, the impact of the rivers for both good and bad. Jill says, Jill Clough, as someone living near Kendal, one of many groups who supported people who were flooded, are still traumatised. I hear far too much about the cutting down of trees and hostility to the flood works from people who weren't flooded. This is a brilliant counteroffer. I only learned about it through the network last week. Where's the publicity about this inspired approach? Tell us, Lana, where's the publicity?
Yeah, this is something we're going to work on. So there's only one comms team for the Environment Agency, and when we did this exhibition, which was 2 weeks ago, just before half term, there was flooding in Cumbria and Northwest, and that's their priority, is to actually work on that. But we're gonna package this up, and we're gonna reopen the exhibition, hopefully. So we go into a stage now, because of the elections, that we can't do any promotion over the next month or so, but in May we're going to try and reopen the exhibition and do a big press release. And because I totally agree with what you're saying, that there is a lot going on in terms of the controversy, but there is a lot of positive, and that's why I decided to get involved with the project in the first place, to work on these nature areas and see the good in what's happening.
Lots of people saying it's Lindsay's saying it's such a fantastic project, Lana. Thanks for sharing. Chris saying, Chris Dennett, sounds lovely, Lana. Jill saying again, I really like the idea of lowering the riverbank to create a wetland along the river walks. Lots of comments, which I'll make sure you get, Lana, about other things that you can look at. And Amanda also saying what a great project, which feels and sounds and looks like it's so inclusive as well. You must have really reached out. You know, you call yourself a community artist, Lana. This is absolutely community artistry on show and taking place. It must be a very satisfying thing to be doing, Lana.
Yeah, it is because working with all these groups and just finding platforms for them to be able to be showcased and feel like they're a part of the community and bring them in, to me that's very satisfying, definitely, to give them that opportunity to be seen and heard.
Has anybody got any final questions for Lana that you can just come off mute and shout out? Right, in that case, oh,
Sorry,
Jessie, go for it.
I was just wondering, Lana, sorry, I might have missed it if you'd shared your contact details, because it'd be great to be able to put you in touch with our Riverlands project as well with the National Trust.
Yeah, I can just put it in the chat there, no problem.
Thank you, Lana. Jessie works for the National Trust, don't you, Jessie? Yeah.
Yeah.
So hence the interest and connection going on there.
That would be great, thank you.
Go on, Lana.
Oh, I was just going to say I agree with the voices, and that's why it's not been public yet, because it needs fine tuning, just the levels slightly adjusting. I agree with what Helen said regards to the levels.
Okay.
Well, and then maybe I'll send it to Tom to play it on the radio.
Well, this whole network will support you, Lana, in publicising this when you're ready to really shout from the rooftops about it and from the banks of the river. We will really support you in getting word out about this, because Kendal is one of those places in Cumbria that, because it's kind of vaguely in the middle, you know, to the south a bit, lots of people go through Kendal for all sorts of reasons, and it's one of these things that I think I could just easily see myself going down to the riverbank for half an hour or whatever and just seeing what's down there, but I need to know about it first of all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a wonderful thing, and congratulations on all that you've achieved so far with it, and I hope it continues to go in the direction that you want it to. And thank you so much for sharing it with us this morning.
Thanks for having me, it's been great. Cheers.
All right, thank you. It's 27 minutes past 10. So I've been really inspired this morning by what I've heard from Tom and from Lana. And I hope you have been as well. I was just thinking what else is going on at the moment. So we've got Grayson's Art Club is back on Channel 4. I don't know if you caught that on a Friday night, but I love that programme. Again, it's just one of those programmes that kind of makes you feel the world's going to be okay. So I just recommend that to you. It's the Keswick Film Festival at the moment. We've opened last night, I think. They're doing some great independent cinema at the moment. And next week, we're going to hear from Michelle Taylor, who is from Ramps on the Moon. She's going to be the person leading the disability equality training that Kate was mentioning at the start of this meeting, taking place in April. So she's going to talk to us a bit about where she comes from and what she tries to achieve with that. And as Kate said, if you want to sign up for that, then go to the website and the links are there to sign up for it. And we're also going to hear from Vega Brennan. We're going to hear who's got a great new artistic project going on. We're going to hear from the Cumbrian Creatives, which is a new network set up at Theatre by the Lake. And also Artful Ways is back at Studio Moorland. You'll remember Artful Ways was that brilliant exhibition that Rob and Harriet curated in Tully House, and it's going to Studio Moorland, and that opens in, I think, about 2 weeks' time. So another thing to look forward to there. So lots to go on next week. Lovely to see you all. Thank you for everything that everyone does for the cultural and artistic community in Cumbria. Thank you to Tom, thank you to Lana again. Get to BBC Introducing, get to Kendal to see those beautiful things going on down there. Have a lovely sunny weekend wherever you are. I think we're going to be okay. Stay safe, stay healthy if you can, and hopefully catch you again this time next week back on Zoom. Nice to see you all. Bye-bye.